Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the program today, is somebody taking shots at the governor and Senator Washoe, and the Harrah's merger is complete. Scott Craigie has the rundown.
Sam, as you said, we have Sheila Leslie, who is resting up now that the legislative session is over. She had a terrific session, and she'll be here to give us a rundown of what happened there. And Don Marrandino, who's the regional president for Harrah, is talking about gaming.
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Martha Gould, Marlene, Lockard, and Randi Thompson. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Here at the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, water resources come from fresh, clean groundwater, approved by state permit. The water is pumped from wells to million-gallon storage tanks and then distributed to TRI companies. Another amenity is our investment in a state-of-the-art wastewater treatment plant. This disposal system converts waste to clean water for industrial applications. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevada.
It really was a matter of confusion, and I also had the stress on my wife was considerable too, as she ran around talking to the right people and trying to track down resources that would improve my health and make me independent again.
One-stop access for caregivers, NevadaCareConnection.org.
Nevada Newsmakers is sponsored in part by the Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And from Washoe District 27, we welcome to the program Assemblywoman Sheila Leslie. Always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Sam.
Session is over. You've been taking a couple of shots lately. A couple of articles that came out in the Reno Gazette-Journal recently. Your comments were, during the significant political and fiscal ramifications on the property tax issue, Governor Gwynn's guidance was absent. He went missing. Really? The staff as well?
Well, I wouldn't call those political shots. As you know, well know from the journalistic business, reporters try and get both sides of the story, and so that was an end of the session roundup. But it's true, the governor was not as involved. I mean, it's a fact in the property tax debate. Later on in the session, he became, in my view, also in that story, a little bit over-involved in the rebate issue. I felt he was threatening to veto the whole budget if we didn't do the rebate exactly the way that he wanted to. So
your quote was, "I found that somewhat annoying, to be honest."
I did.
But I mean, isn't that part of the political process, though? I mean,
well, it's certainly give and take, and I don't expect the governor to agree with everything that I do or vice versa, but I think threatening to veto the whole budget over something about whether the rebate is done this way or that way, I think that's a little extreme.
Well, and you had the balance between the rebate and also Assemblywoman Buckley's prescription drug bill. Yeah,
actually, the governor was always very easy to work with on that bill. I actually get along quite well with the governor. I was down in the Juvenile Justice Summit yesterday in Las Vegas, and he talked about being a Republican with a heart and a very caring Republican. And certainly on the issues that I work on, the most human services issues, Governor Gwynn's been the best governor I've ever worked with, by far.
Well, and he certainly has gone from being partisan in nature to being the governor of all the people, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think he's done a good job as governor. That doesn't mean that I can't criticize him. I think sometimes we're getting into the mode where we think if we can't disagree, it's partisan politics and all of that. The governor and I have a very good relationship. We disagree on some things. We agree on many other things. We probably agree on more than we disagree on.
Okay, you also had some comments about Senator Raggio. You said that the cracks in the master's armor still exist. I still think his caucus frustrates him. The old style of leadership isn't working the same way anymore. And I still think stronger leadership could have avoided a special session. How?
Well, the last comment was about really Senator Beers in the end with the Millennium Scholarship. And it was one of those things you had to be there in the building to really see. And where I think a special session could have been avoided is if Senator Raggio had pulled him back and said, wait a minute, you know, if you're not going to compromise, let's put somebody on the negotiating team who is. Because Senator Beers was just, nope. When we took Senator Beers off and we took one of our people off, in the end, I was in the second negotiating team. We sat down with the governor. We had
Chris G. by any chance?
It was. We settled the whole thing in 10 minutes. So I think Senator Raggio should have pulled Bob Beers back sooner. But I also have a very good relationship with Senator Raggio, and I think he's done a wonderful job. Being from the North, I'm really happy that he's there. I hope he'll still be there next session to help us in the North.
You know, there were some comments made to me before the session began that in some ways, despite the fact that we have this 120-day session, that in fact we're still dealing with it in the way that we used to when it was pretty much unlimited. And things aren't being done as quickly at the beginning as they should be to be able to make sure we get out in a special session. Now, I know property taxes was taken care of very quickly in the beginning, but do you think there are more ways to be able to streamline this process?
I think every session we're getting better at meeting our deadlines. Every session has its own rhythm. This one started off late because of the impeachment trial of Kathy Augustine. Then we had the property tax crisis we had to deal with the deadline. And then the bills got backed up. So this session had its own unique flavor and rhythm that I think we'll be able to rectify last time. The big problem, I think, in this session came at the very end with the conference committees moving so fast and things. There was more slipping things in bills and not telling other people, even in your own caucus. I've never seen that much of that kind of activity before. And I think, Barbara Buckley, who will most likely be our next speaker, I certainly hope she will be, has talked about putting some extra deadlines and boundaries around that conference committee activity that I think will help a great deal.
Okay, now if Barbara Buckley becomes speaker, do you move up? Do you have ambitions?
I know Ralston called me the ever-ambitious Sheila Leslie, which my family found just hilarious, since I'm somebody who never even really intended to be a politician. I'll do whatever Barbara wants me to do. We're great allies, we're great friends. Our politics are very similar. So if she asks me to move up and help her, I'll certainly be there.
Great session for mental health.
Absolutely.
What is the public going to see coming out of this?
Well, starting on Friday when the new budget starts, we'll see more housing supports, more medication, more case coordination, more services for the mentally ill. In Las Vegas especially, they're going to see the mentally ill moving out of the emergency rooms into crisis beds. So I think the public will see more homeless, mentally ill people. They won't see them, actually. They won't be out on the street. Instead, they'll be in a supported housing environment.
And they won't be as much in emergency rooms.
Absolutely. That should, once we get the triage centers in place up here, we already have it going in Las Vegas, the police will be taking the severely mentally ill to the triage center, not to jail, not to the hospital emergency room.
Okay, last question. How much did the governor's race play in Democratic politics at the session?
There were some uncomfortable moments, and there will continue to be. Democrats aren't used to that much fighting within our party. In Nevada, really, we're pretty unified. But I think the session, so much got done. When you look at the session overall, especially from the Democratic point of view, the things on our agenda, we did very well. And I think we stood for a lot of good things for our people. And I think overall, the Democrats came out of this session way ahead.
It's always a pleasure to have you here, Sheila Leslie. Thanks so much. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org. The National Mining Association.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Pepper Mill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Pepper Mill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Pepper Mill. Where are you dining?
Your best value in sight is here for you to see. From frames to lenses to eye exams, you're covered A to Z. Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
Davis Optical Centers, with 2 locations in Reno and Sparks.
Davis Optical, your best value in sight.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're joined by Don Marrandino, who's the regional president for Harrah's of Northern Nevada. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
Okay, let's start out. The merger is complete. What effects is that going to have on your employees? Because obviously you're the company that absorbed Caesars.
Well, in Northern Nevada, we really don't have much of a difference. The Caesars Tahoe property, great property for a long time, has been sold to Columbia, and that went pretty seamless. And then the Hilton in Reno is going to be sold to another company relatively shortly. So our 4,000 employees there's really no difference in their job.
You gave an interesting talk recently that I was very impressed by, which is that there are all different kinds of groups that you now have to market to within the same property. How do you go about that?
Well, it's genographics, and it's kind of, if you throw a party every day, it's hard to make everybody happy. And we've kind of figured out where our market is, where our, what age people are, what likes they have, and we try to tailor different venues of entertainment for the 5 major age groups. From the seniors to the forgotten generation, which is 60 to 70, to the boomers, which this summer we're really going after the boomer generation with our concert series. We have the Eagles twice this summer outside at Lake Tahoe. We have Loggins and Messina, Sammy Hagar, John Mellencamp. So the entertainment is very easy to segment these folks.
What about attention span? How do you deal with that from the different generations?
Well, the core gaming market is 52.4 years old in the database. So obviously most of your effort goes there to provide entertaining ventures for everybody in that age group. And that's where we spend the most of our time. The gravy goes to the non-traditional gamer. If you can get them into your property by entertainment or great restaurants or whatever, you can make money in the non-gaming entities.
So how do you keep Tahoe fresh now that there's California Indian gaming, American Indian gaming? Obviously, you've got to do some things to revitalize it so that the facilities have a new level of excitement. Some things have got to be done in that arena. What do you do in order to compete there?
Well, the Indian gaming market really took away that drive up. Somebody said, hey, let's just go up to Tahoe or Reno for the day and play some slot machines. So that market is very difficult to go after. So we've tried to take the approach that said, here's these interesting entertainment venues. Maybe it's the boat that we have on the lake. We have the Tahoe Wabo cruises at night. The people can't do that at Thunder Valley or Cache Creek. And We opened the restaurant that you saw last night called 19.
You almost tried to kill me last night.
It
was amazing. This man served up every item on the menu at 19 Kitchen, the new restaurant on top of Harvey's, and my wife and I just had to escape at a certain point because we could not eat anymore.
Right.
You need any other volunteers?
Thursday night we open up. We're very happy about it. But that's an example. It's a different type of entertainment. It's kind of a fun place to eat and look, and beautiful surroundings, and the costumes are great on the employees, and it's just a fun place. But I think somebody's going to go there and they're going to want to come back. We opened up Cabo Wabo, which has been an immense success, that people just go down there on a weekend night that you saw on your other show. Just a lot of people there having a great time. I always try to sell tomorrow, not tonight. Tomorrow, if you wake up and you say, I had a great time and here's what happened, that's way better than the experience they're having at that night.
Okay, there's a certain irony when you talk about Indian gaming, that Stations Casinos are now talking about putting in a Green Valley Ranch type property at the bottom of Mount Rose, and they were the company that obviously opened the Auburn Casino that started the whole Indian gaming crisis in northern Nevada. They are obviously, I would presume, going to flip people from that casino to Reno because they have their weekday gamblers there, and then they want to get more money out of them on the weekend. They're going to send them to Reno. Isn't there a certain irony there?
Well, I think, it's great for the town. They'll develop a first-class facility that'll be, they'll probably spend $300 or $400 million, I would guess, on a property like that that'll drive people from Thunder Valley in their database to our area, which is great news. Obviously, it wasn't great news when they opened Thunder Valley, but somebody would have. And they took advantage of it, and they've done well. And I'm sure they'll do a great job with it here in Reno. I hope they do build.
Well, when I go to Pachanga, which is in Temecula in Southern California, their product is fine, but it's not extraordinary. And that place is just jammed all the time. And I just keep thinking that that's an extraordinary marketing opportunity, that we should be down there with a plane on a Friday afternoon saying, okay, folks, if you like this, you'll really love what we've got in northern Nevada.
Yeah, we're flying in 150 to 170 planes a year into Reno Airport from all over the country. I think we fly to about 80 cities. So we're flying everybody. And with the Harrah's database and now the recently merged Caesars database, I believe we talk to about 80% of the adult population that games in the country. So we're gonna tie into that database and bring people and expose them to Reno and Tahoe.
So the demographics, are you bringing more young people in? Are you bringing more retired people in? Are special events your main draw?
Well, our core gamer is the 52 plus, and that's really where we're going after for the gaming dollar. But through entertainment or restaurants, we're going after anybody 21 to whatever, and we'll tailor something for you at either Harrah's Reno or Lake Tahoe that you're going to have a good time with. No matter what you like, we're swinging really hard and trying to make it fun.
Okay, last question. Speaking of fun, see an advertisement in the local newspaper after the July 4th fireworks, foam at your nightclub altitude. What does this mean?
I'm not quite sure. No, we fill the dance.
I believe he just did a Carol Vallado duck there.
We fill the dance floor up with foam, and it's kind of a thing that over in Spain that they've done these foam parties that are unbelievably successful. And our nightclub is off the chart. We're going to remodel it here in the next couple months, but we figured what a way to send out the old club is foam it up a little bit and keep it scrubbed up for the summer. But it will be fun.
We always love having you here. Don Marrandino, thanks so much.
A good video.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this. Read some phone for
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
High-tech companies demand perfect world amenities. They require clean, reliable power, state-of-the-art fiber optic communications, and clean water sources. In a perfect world, companies would have immediate access to rail and interstate freeways. There would be 4-lane expressways that shorten shipping times and provide convenient commute routes for valued employees. Well, the future is now, and it's here. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Play over 480 of the hottest slots and video poker games. Enjoy hot times and sizzling food specials at Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. Watch your favorite game on one of our jumbo high-definition plasma TVs. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. Or sample the best hot and cold sandwiches in the Whistle Stop Deli. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway. Yeah.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers.
I just want to let you know that Nevada Newsmakers is now available online by 4:45 each afternoon. The new editions will be at nevadanewsmakers.com with streaming video, so check that out. No excuses not to watch the show anymore.
Say everything you want to say, because when you throw them a question, we're not going to get to speak again.
I pretty much feel that's the way it's going to be. Martha Gould is here.
We got the chatty women.
We've got Marlene Lockard with Capital Strategies and Randi Thompson, our political analyst. Okay.
And Martha.
And why don't you say I'm now a nonpartisan?
Well, okay. Do you want to explain why you're a nonpartisan? You've been a
No.
lifelong Democrat?
Hiding in the weeds is what she's
No,
doing.
I'm not. I became a nonpartisan because I'm really unhappy with the direction that both parties are going in. But I don't feel that the Democratic Party is really doing anything at this point except negativity. They're against, but I'm still waiting. Hello, what are you for?
The party of no.
Marlene?
I couldn't disagree more. The party is alive and well and active, and Sunday I attended an event here in Reno, and over 300 active Democrats on a beautiful Sunday afternoon came together to talk about the positive issues and a positive agenda for this state
Are
and
we
for this
talking
country.
to? Are you talking to yourselves? You don't hear it out beyond.
I think that we need a better dialogue on the national level.
Thank you. That's what
but I think
irritates me.
the Democratic Party is alive and well and doing very well here in
When
Nevada.
Jon Stewart was talking to Howard Dean the other day, he suggested that, hey, you know,
I saw
fake
that.
news. I mean, you know, we're right in there. But the discussion was that perhaps what the Democrats need to do is be like a shadow government, that every time that they disagree with the Bush administration, come out and say what they would have done in that circumstance.
Yes.
Is that a good idea, Randy?
And you know,
Where are the
if,
Democrats in the
if
dialogue
the
on Social
party,
Security?
if the party would do that, then I would probably become a Democrat again. I am waiting to hear what they are going to do, not why they are against something, but what are they for. Bring out good solutions, because there are solutions out there.
Well, we'll give Harry Reid your phone number so he can call you.
Harry knows me very well.
I know that, Martha.
And he probably
I love
will never
agreeing with
speak to
Martha
me
Gould. It's
again.
so rare for me to do that. Thank you, Martha.
You know, Scott,
You know, I'm 74. I can do or say anything I want.
Yeah, like you had to wait. Yeah, sure. You're not getting away with that here, baby.
Scott, we got a war in Iraq. You're a big supporter of public television, and the Republicans are going after public television. It seems like they've been staved off at this point. But isn't it time to think now in this world of 500 channels that perhaps public television can be taken apart and all the good programs put onto regular channels, and Sewing with Nancy dies a quiet death?
Well, and of course, just so that everyone knows, I'm on the board of directors for Channel 5.
And I am the past chair of the Citizens Advisory Board for KUNR.
And truly, I think that there is still a very important role that is there for public television. When you look at Big Bird is probably the best example. There are some programs that have next to no audience, but the audience that they have really has to be there. And I'll leave it at that because I got a partisan position here that I really am nailed to. Because
I listen to KUNR. I write them a check every year, and if Congress had cut the funding, I'd say, fine, I'll contribute $200 instead of $100.
But a lot of people can't afford to increase their contributions. There is a public policy issue here in that you need to have access to information that is not driven by sponsors.
But it is.
No, it is not.
It is advertising.
No, they underwrite, but they don't impact
They
what they
have
say.
commercials on. This is a fallacy.
Yeah.
No, it is not a
There are
fallacy.
actual commercials on.
It is not a fallacy. The
They just don't have them in the middle of the program.
difference is the underwriters don't drive what is done or said on the airwaves. And
I got to come back in. You know, the difference is they don't take advantage of the audience that's pulled together by the programming. And do silly or dumb or idiotic things that television commercials do in order to get attention, or take advantage of the openness that these very young children, for example, that are watching Big Bird, take advantage of them to get them to buy, certain kinds of clothing or a new TV set.
It's a Viagra-free zone.
Marlene, are you staying out of this?
No, I support public television, and all I'll say is I couldn't live without Jim Lear.
Thank you.
I still call it the McNeil-Lear report.
I think we have you pretty well cornered.
I think
it's 4-1.
I think you do. All right.
That's the first time we've ever had that much agreement at this table.
By the way, I got one word for you on Big Bird. Nickelodeon. They take that in a second.
That's true.
Let's talk about one of the Supreme Court rulings here, which is that they've sent back to the Federal District Court in Washington the case regarding Judith Miller of the New York Times and Matthew Cooper of Time Magazine, who are now likely to be going to jail because they won't reveal their sources on the story. And in fact, in Judith Miller's case, a story she didn't write about Valerie Plame being outed by the White House.
It is outrageous beyond belief.
Yeah. One of the more bizarre episodes, I think, in this country, that the person who wrote the story and outed the person is not involved and is not under threat of jail, but the two who did not are. It makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, and Woodward and Bernstein next?
It could be. And that's the truth. It could be. We need a federal shield law. We'll be right out of here. Right back after this. We'll be right out of here.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
For more than a decade, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has been helping the community embrace conservation as a way of life. That includes replacing more than 50 million square feet of grass with water-smart landscaping. During the worst drought on record, watering restrictions and tough landscaping codes have reduced the community's water use by billions of gallons, even as thousands of new residents were moving into Nevada. That's smart water management, and that's our promise to Nevada.
When making your decision as where to play golf, consider the resort at Red Hawk. You know you have made the right choice the moment you arrive. The friendly staff welcomes you to our award-winning pro shop. You know you've made the right decision on the first tee. The Lakes course is in the best condition in years. You know you've made the right choice after you've played 18 holes. The resort at Red Hawk, the right choice.
On the next Nevada Newsmakers, we'll talk with Jeff Gurman from the Las Vegas Sun and nanotechnology. See you then.